Hello, everybody. My name is Anika Gianforte, and welcome to our coronavirus update for the week of December 13th, 2020. The goal of these short videos is to provide you with insight into what's happening with the coronavirus statistics across the nation and in New York State, and to also provide insight on some hot topics. So to kick things off, here are the nationwide COVID-19 metrics with a 7-day average. So the trends are not looking good, unfortunately. We see a high of daily cases. So we have a single day record of daily cases, single day record of current hospitalizations, and daily deaths. So the trends are not looking good. Daily deaths, as usual, are lagging slightly behind current hospitalizations. So unfortunately, we expect to see more deaths going forward. So the trends are not going in the right direction. And in New York State, we can see much of the same. So these trends are certainly up from last week. These are broken down by region. So they range anywhere between 2.3 in the southern tier to around 8.1 in the Finger Lakes. So this really proves that we need to get back to basics. I know that a lot of folks are suffering from pandemic fatigue, and with the prospect of a vaccine looming on the horizon, that could also give folks a false sense of security, and the holiday season is coming up, which makes it even more difficult than ever to remain socially distanced when everyone has family and they want to see their family and get together with their friends and so on and so forth. So we really need to take it back to basics, as we've said all throughout the pandemic. So the priorities are social distancing, wearing those face coverings, and washing hands frequently. And those are the main ways that we can prevent the spread. So we all know that face masks are a key to helping mitigate the spread of COVID-19. And this can be especially challenging in food processing facilities. And one of the reasons that's challenging is that food processing environments can be really loud. We have loud equipment that helps us achieve our goal of processing food. And what we end up seeing in industry is that you struggle to be heard even without face masks. So during a pandemic, what ends up happening is coworkers get very close together in order to hear and be heard. And then when that's not working, the speaker has an instinct to pull down their face mask in order to better project their voice. But unfortunately, these are the complete opposite actions that we want to be taking in a pandemic. So fortunately, companies have notice that, okay, the root cause of why these face masks aren't working out too well in certain processing areas is because it's so loud and people just can't communicate because they can't hear each other without pulling on their face mask or getting really close together. So companies have invested in headsets with microphones that help people within a processing area better communicate. And what we have found is that the employees like these systems so much that even without face masks, we no longer need face masks anymore, they want to keep those headsets because it makes it so much easier to communicate. So this is a really encouraging story, and I think it proves that companies are looking at the root cause of why these mitigation strategies are difficult for people in addressing the root cause. So that's a really neat story that I think is worth sharing for the rest of the food industry as well. Other creative solutions, with symptom screening being important for screening employees as they enter the facility, and even screening outside contractors as they enter the facility, we've seen a move towards a more digital check-in process. And oftentimes this is also linked with some sort of physical check-in process as well. So, you know, if your company is doing temperature checks of folks as they come in, maybe that's done physically, but the remainder of the check-in is done digitally. So that can help with data trending and sorting through all of your data on who's in the plant and who was screened and what all that means. But it can also be a hybrid approach. So that's just something to think about if you're struggling with employee screening or contractor screening. And the image on the right is a pen sanitizer. So we, even outside of food processing facilities and places where you might have to sign for something at other businesses in general, there is usually a clean pen bucket and a dirty pen bucket. And I know me personally, I'm not confident that the person before actually put their dirty pen in the dirty pen bucket. And this contraption kind of solves that. So the idea here is that when you're done using the pen, you put the pen in the top of this box and push it down, and the next person can pull that out from the bottom, and you have a sanitized pen. Now, obviously, this would require some maintenance, but it's still worth sharing. And the final creative solution that we've been seeing has more to do with overall employee wellness versus just COVID mitigation. And that example is that companies are starting to have employees enter raffles for certain wellness measures. So for example, if you got your flu shot, maybe you can get entered into a raffle. And once you're entered in that raffle, you have the opportunity to win a number of prizes. And they're actually good prizes that people actually would like to win. So for example, maybe that would be an iPad or a smartwatch or something that's a significant reward for whatever wellness check that would be. So I think that is a creative solution. I think it also promotes a positive culture around employee well-being. And especially in these times, it's worth looking into. So with that, I'd like to thank the USDA for their support and funding, and always close with the reminder that in order to stop this pandemic and to limit the really terrible trends that we're seeing, we need to remain vigilant and do social distancing, wear those face coverings properly, and regularly wash your hands with soap and water or use an appropriate hand sanitizer. Thank you.